Hey guys, what's up? It's me here. So it's now 12 a.m. My days have been good so far. I've been just doing normal stuff that I have to do, chores and whatnot. The other day, let me tell you something. Just the other day, I don't know if it was Thursday or Friday, I don't remember, but some kids, excuse me, some kids from another neighborhood, in a very poor neighborhood, just so you know, a very rough neighborhood, decided that they were going to come over to my area. It has a little bit to do with me, a little bit to do with my next door neighbor. So they decided that they were going to jump this young girl and freaking beat her up. And it's really sad because it was like a really Muslim phobic attack. I tried to get in between it, but I wasn't able to successfully intervene fully. I didn't like break up the fight or anything. I didn't touch anybody, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to yell at these kids to get out of here because they're attacking her. And when the fight finally finishes and everything's gone, these fucking, like, I'm yelling at the other kids to get off the property line. Like, cause some of the kids were still there and then they left. They dispersed after they beat the shit out of her. So I'm yelling at the other kids to get off the other side of the property line. And like this little kid, I don't even know why kids are raised this way. Can someone answer this for me, this question? Stop raising your kids to be little shits. This little shithead, this 7-year-old, I'm guessing, 8-year-old, decides to, like, I'm yelling directly past him and technically at his little group because they were the only ones left. And I'm yelling at them to get off the other side of the property line. So I'm yelling at them. He's like, "Oh, you have a beard." I'm outside. I'm wearing my hijab. I'm wearing my appropriate clothes and everything. I'm covered, and I'm yelling at these kids to get out the other side because they're on the other side and they're not even supposed to be in here. My other neighbor on my other side of me comes out and is still yelling at them to also get off the area because they're not even supposed to be in this area. So he just I had to like yell at this kid. I said, "You don't belong here. Your group doesn't belong here. You get the fuck out of here right now." I had to use the F word, guys. Like, it was a really heated exchange. There's no parents in sight. There's 16, 17 children jumping this poor girl all at once. And you guys, I don't know what the hell is wrong with this area, but I just, ugh. It's never happened before, so like this is like I've had to deal with disrespectful neighbors and disrespectful distancing the whole other side of the neighborhood before in my old area. And believe me, kids are just disgusting these days. They are disgustingly rude. I don't know why parents even bother raising children this rude. There's something not right. I don't know if it's SpongeBob, I don't know if it's Family Guy, I don't know who the hell taught these children to talk like this, but it is just disgusting. Completely unacceptable. So as I'm yelling at these kids to get off the other side of the property lane, this kid is like, "Oh, well, you have a beard and all this stuff. You look like a guy and all this stuff." And I'm just like, guys, if I could show you my face, I'm 100% female. I'm Muslim, for God's sake. I think it would be pretty obvious if there was something wrong. In that way, I'm biologically female. Been that way since birth. And this stupid kid. And by the way, I do have 5% facial hair, but guess what? I've had it waxed over the years. It's like pretty much gone. So I don't know why this kid feels the need to fucking scream at me. I'm just like, "What do you mean beard? What the fuck are you talking about? You never seen a headscarf before? You see the other girls wearing it. The hell? It's pink." So I don't know what this stupid kid's talking about. And I told him, I was like, and you'll never guess what he said to me. He said, "Eat my behind, my oh my god, the A word, guys, the A word." He said, "Eat my A or kiss my A." I don't know. He said both. So I'm just like really confused. And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You don't belong here. You want me to fucking call the cops? Because I'll call the cops." So I'm just yelling at these stupid kids. They finally leave, guys. my next door neighbor's parents and stuff, and like, oh my god, so many people came out, guys. It's just so terrible. So they ended up calling the police anyway. I called the police too. And then the cops did nothing. This poor girl, she has a little or I guess she's probably gone to the hospital and fixed it by now, but she had, it's not like a cold sore, but it's this red puffy spot on her lip, bunch of scratches on her face, and the cops did nothing. They did nothing, you guys. The follow-up report was absolutely nothing. Disgusting. Like, you could have at least went to the kid's door and fucking told them they were gonna get arrested, because that's assault. You can't just do that. It's not like it's a provoked attack, you know what I mean? As far as I know, it was unprovoked. But even, like, this kid's like, oh god, she has to be 14. She told me she was older than all of them. I mean, the kids next door to me fully are, little brats too, but they're not going to, I don't think they would ever go and jump people. Do you know what I mean? But no, they jumped her. They jumped their sister. So I'm just like, okay, well, I was trying to help, and I was just like, hey, whatever, I'll help stay with you guys for a little bit. Whatnot. The cops ended up not even coming. Like, we called dispatch first. They called dispatch an hour before. They called dispatch again. Called dispatch a third time. They said they were coming in like a minute and a half. I don't know. That's the next call to go out, because it depends on who you call the first time. So dispatch finally sends a fucking car out later, and they're just like, oh well, it's happening after the fact. Why did you call us? Kind of just I've been briefed after the fact. So it's just like, it's not even about afterwards. It's like the officer didn't even get, like, you guys have bulletproof vests, okay? And you did not take the time to get out of your squad car, the both of you, and freaking help this little girl. She's like, fucking put on your glasses, get the fuck out of the car. Be a man, be a woman, be two officers that can actually help this young girl. And be officers. Like, this is what you guys went to college for and university for. Be women and men and get the fuck out of that car and look at that girl and say, oh my god, how can we help? Take down her name, they didn't do anything, you guys. Nothing. Poor girl's bleeding, for God's sake. I hope she got a rabies shot, because who knows what those kids were beating her with. It's a bunch of black kids, freaking these other black individuals. I don't even know. It's just random hood black kids, and in terms of like, they're just like really poorly mannered. It's these girls beating. I guess both of them beat her up, because otherwise she probably wouldn't look like the way she did. But a bunch of individuals came and like, and then like, I wasn't. Listen, guys, I'm gonna be truthful with you. I wasn't going to get involved, because at first I thought they had invited everyone over to play with them. I thought they were friends, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. I go inside, I drop off my bag. I come back outside, this girl's being beat the fuck out of, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, why the fuck are you guys in our neighborhood? Like, seriously? Be a different story if it was a peaceful thing and they were playing together, because I thought they were just being invited over into her yard. But 16, you definitely know that something's not right when 16 kids show up, and then they were screaming and being really loud. They're like, oh yeah, world star, and you know how people put things on social media for clout, so it's just really disgusting that the police didn't do anything. If it were a bunch of kids walking home and following me and freaking jumping me, I'd want something to be done by the police, and the police department should get sued by that. There should definitely be charges pressed against the police department, and a lawsuit, because they didn't even do anything. I've been briefed after the fact that when, I'm guessing that she's all cleaned up now and everything, because her hair was even pulled out, you guys. Like, it's not a joke. That's assault. That's assault. You can't do that. I witnessed the entire thing, you guys. I couldn't really do much because they're kids. It's gonna look weird if I try to, our laws are different in my part of Canada area. I can't just go and like, I can't even put my hand on somebody's shoulder and tap them and say, hey, don't do that anymore, without getting in trouble. So I'm just like, if it were that way, I guess I would catch a charge and not them. I don't know if they ever caught a charge, but being briefed that I've been briefed that their parents don't even care, and it's just like, wow. But I know their ass was supposed to be home before then, because by that time it was already 7:30. Like, after the fact, it was already 7:30. So they were either home or they were hiding or somewhere. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but they're being stupid. Probably put the whole video out on social media by now. They didn't put my face in it, I don't think, but a bunch of school kids just came to jump her because apparently they go to the same school as her. But I just felt bad. You know, sometimes the kids next door just, you know, they act shitty, they act with poor judgment, but the girl didn't deserve to get beat the fuck up. That's all I'm saying. You know, like, that's a little too far. And they don't even belong in this neighborhood. They live in a West Courtyard. You guys, like, this courtyard these kids live in, there's drug addicts, it's one of those welfare places that pays for your apartment and stuff, like, pays for you a place to live, which would have been fine, but there's a lot of drug addicts and people with guns and knives over there. Or just knives, I guess. I don't know if the gun law still stands to this day, if Trudeau still has a ban. But there's a lot of weapons down there. There's a lot of police down there. There's a lot of bad stuff you don't want to see. Dead people getting, like, I don't know prior to the gun law, but I think prior to the gun law that was being passed in Canada, they were probably getting shot pretty bad. So, yeah, it's a lot to deal with. But I just wanted to have a good day. I was having a good day, and I came home to that. So it was a lot of work. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. I gotta go to sleep. Just wanted to tell you guys that because I'm just so frustrated that police haven't done anything about that. Why would you wait an hour and, like, what if the girl actually, like, dispatch? I talked to dispatch. She's like, oh, does she need, medical personnel? Does she need a paramedic down there? I said no, but she's bleeding from her mouth and her face, her lip. That's what I was trying to say. You know, I talked to them. I said, good, how are you? Good afternoon. You know, typical thing when you say after the fact, because dispatch wasn't responding the first couple times. So I just decided to give them a call. But I'm trying to educate these kids and let them know, like, hey, you pretty much got assaulted. So if I were you, I'd press charges. I don't know if they ever press charges, but yeah, some kid's dad even came out and started yelling at them in Arabic. I don't know if he was trying to break up the fight or encourage it, but it's like, seriously, grown men and women and police officers, please do better. Because if kids get hurt, it's not a game, you know. If I took a few punches to the face, it's whatever. I go to the hospital, get an ice pack, whatever. For all charges after the fact. But this is a kid we're talking about. She's still a minor. She's 14. So, it's terrible. So, PD is awful. PD in a lot of states and sometimes in Canada is just awful and might be a waste of time. They're supposed to save people's lives and they never do. Sometimes. So, Trudeau needs to do something about that. Somebody at the head level state needs to make sure all officers are doing their fucking job before they get to be called an officer, because this is exactly what happens when you send people out on the field who don't do shit. They're cowards. So, I just wanted to tell you guys that. So,